Jessica Wright was born on August 18th, 1983, to parents Greg Wright and mother movie star Cynthia Wright. The early childhood of Jessica Wright did in no way indicate the person she would become. She enjoyed many of the comforts that came with her family's wealth. She led an active social life and worked as a social worker. An only child and raised by various nannies, the relative instability of her life possibly contributed to her drastic change in nature. Jessica's parents were rarely home. Because her mom was a movie star, she was always out doing films, and her father was a top defense lawyer, constantly defending important clients. She was raised by various nannies and normally lived at different vacation homes all over the world, so she was never in a very stable home environment. As a student, she was very studious. She went to top private institutions and excelled in all grades. For college, she went to Harvard and studied sociology. After college, she led an active social life, enjoying glamours and parties that came with a wealthy lifestyle. Jessica, you were such a good student, a great daughter, an awesome friend. What caused you to change, to turn your life to this murder?
Well, I was always raised on my own, basically, with nannies and babysitters. My parents, I knew they loved me and they provided whatever I wanted for me, but I never got hugged as a child, never got kissed. I never had any of the real comforts of a childhood. And so what really happened was, I guess those feelings built up, and here I am.
So you're saying that you never felt loved. Can I put it that way?
Yeah, I mean, I loved my life. I did. Who wouldn't? I had everything I ever wanted. I went to parties. I had great friends. But I was never loved by anyone until Jack came along.
Jack, who's Jack? Is this a friend of yours?
Jack Bear. Jack Bear was my high school boyfriend. We dated for 3 years in high school. I loved him. He loved me. Until one day we were at a party. He got a little too drunk and he cheated on me. And it all went downhill from there. It turns out we went off to college because that was our senior year. I ended up forgiving him, and all throughout college I kept thinking about him and trying to contact him. I called him, I sent him letters, but he wasn't interested. But then finally, after college, I got a hold of him, and it turns out he was engaged.
Engaged to whom?
To Emily, my first victim.
Emily and Jack both went to Yale University. They met in one of their law classes. They dated for 2 years and were planning to get married. 2 weeks before the wedding, Emily was found dead behind a restaurant she had visited the night before with her friends. Forensic reports that she was beaten to death with a heavy, blunt object. Autopsy later revealed a wedding ring was shoved down her throat.
Yeah, I did cheat on her in high school. Wasn't a big deal. I was at a party, some alcohol, lots of alcohol. Just a random girl, thought nothing of it. Jessica, on the other hand, took it to heart. After that moment, we broke up. I thought she would be mad at me. She started stalking me, emails, letters. I didn't know really what to do or why she was doing that. Hold on one second. What was the weirdest thing? I went to Yale. She went to Harvard. Met this nice girl, Emily. I've moved on from my high school career. Clearly, Jessica didn't. And she still had feelings for me. I guess I wish she would have just expressed them in a different way. Now, 2 weeks before I was supposed to get married, my fiance is not here anymore. And she showed no remorse. In jail, she kept trying to just get in contact with me. I don't really understand the whole situation, but...
So you were jealous of Emily?
Well, yes, I was. She had everything I wanted, which was Jack. He was the only person who ever loved me. While I was off at Harvard, they were together at Yale, and I never saw them. And when I tried to contact Jack, I found out that he was getting married, and that's what started it all. I felt no remorse while I was killing Emily. She deserved it. She stole the one person who ever loved me. Wouldn't you have done the same?
So where did it go from there?
Well, I tried to suppress my feelings, but then one fateful day at the grocery store, I was walking with my shopping cart and I overheard a woman who seemed to be talking to her soon-to-be husband. And I naturally struck up a conversation. We got to know each other well. Turns out we had some mutual friends, kind of in the same social circle. And so I asked her, I tried to confirm, are you getting married? And she told me she was in about 2 or 3 weeks. And so after that, I ended up, one thing led to another, and I ended up being invited over to her house for coffee. And at that point, my feelings were triggered, and I just couldn't even help myself. I had to kill her because she seemed so happy. At her house, she showed me her wedding dress. She showed me all of her plans, her meal plans for the wedding, and it just put me over the edge. So what ended up happening was, while she was making the coffee, I ended up grabbing what's like a baseball bat that was her husband's, and soon-to-be husband's, and I just started hitting her, and I couldn't stop hitting her. And then, of course, I took the baseball bat after I did, to hide the evidence, because I'm not that dumb. And so I took the baseball bat, and then I started running. And I thought she was dead. I really did.
So one day I went to the grocery store. This was about 4 years ago. And this random lady came up to me. She started talking to me, and it turned out that we had mutual friends. So I invited her over to my house for coffee, and I thought she was nice and all. And then I turned around to make the coffee. I got hit in the head with a baseball bat. Now, it's 4 years later, and I just woke up from a coma. My poor fiancé had to wait 4 years to marry me. And I recently helped him sketch a picture of the lady for the police, even though I can't really remember that well.
Well, I just don't understand Jessica. I mean, when I was around, she seemed pretty normal. Granted, we traveled a lot, and she spent a lot of time with nannies. But she seemed like an average girl, so I don't really understand what happened to her. It's a real shame.
This was the house that Jessica grew up in. You can see it is very nice. Very good lifestyle, very good person.
Hola, my name is Rosa. I was Miss Babysitter for Miss Jessica when she was how you say 20 12? 12? Yes. Oh, so sweet, so nice. A little bit angry, but so sweet and very friendly. Oh, I loved her. And she was smart and always kept her room so neat and perfect. I love her. I don't know what happened.